Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday once again. I am Alexis K. I am your host on Tuesdays because right now you're watching EME. And on Tuesdays, we like to let a little light in. We like to allow ourselves to be a little transparent so that we're able to transform a little bit. The more that we're transparent, the more opportunity there is for God's light to work through us so that we continue to be better, different, and we continue to strive towards the mark. This month, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Women all over the world do suffer with breast cancer. We have many survivors, and with survivors, we also have those who have been able to find their way back to the heavenly bosom of the Father, and have lost that fight in one sense, but have gained something else entirely. And this Tuesday, as we're talking about rest, I wanted to talk about God resting. The Bible reminds us that God does not slumber or sleep. But when we get an opportunity to see God resting, he's resting in his own goodness. He's resting in all that he's created and the good that will come out of what he has created. And yet he is still the God that does not sleep. We often think about rest and we naturally go to thinking about more of a physical rest, but there's also the rest of peace. When you rest in excellence, when you rest in the perfection of Jesus. And I was thinking about those who have survived breast cancer and how many times I've heard those survivors say that I believed that God was going to move. I believed that God had a blessing for me. I believed that even in this moment of trial and tribulation, I rested in God's arms. I rested in his capability. Being able to rest in God's perfection is a gift that we can never take for granted. But oftentimes we don't rest in God's perfection. We tend to be a little busybodied, or we're looking for a rest in physical sense and we miss it in the perfection of who he is. And as we're observing breast cancer this month, for those of you who have family members who are fighting it, rest in the perfection of Jesus, knowing that he, by his stripes, your family member is already healed, that whether they lose this fight or they win it on this side of heaven, that there is a rest that comes in the perfection of only what God can do. And if you are a survivor, then continue to rest in God's promise that you will continue to have your health. And if someone has lost the fight that you are grieving, then encourage yourself to rest in the perfection of God's goodness.